Hey guys, I am very excited because the new Napoleon movie comes out this week. Directed by Ridley Scott, starring Joaquin Phoenix, and I'm going to be reviewing three other movies based on Napoleon Bonaparte. And the first one is The Emperor's New Clothes, and it's starring Ian Holmes, directed by Alan Taylor. It came out in 2002. That is more than 20 years ago at this point. And yeah, it is a light-hearted comedy, kind of a coming of age story, if you say, pertaining to one of the greatest military strategists to have ever lived, Napoleon Bonaparte. And it's a really interesting angle to give to a historic figure like Napoleon himself. This movie tries to give an opportunity for this character to have realization and compassion for other people. The way that real history actually um, led to for Napoleon, it tried. Some historians tried to stress the fact that Napoleon really cared about the men he fought alongside with. He had compassion for people, but at the same time, he was a general. Some of the things that pertain to his job is losing men. So he had to keep going. He had to keep leading. And at a certain point, I would understand that as a human being, you do feel grief and a lot of resentment through a lot of the things that you go to or go through. But um, as a general, as a leader, you have to keep going. You have to be strong. And this movie, it tries to show the kind of nihilistic side of Napoleon and how he treats people and how kind of Scroogey he is. Like he is kind of like a humbug character in the beginning of the movie because, like I said, this is set after the Battle of Waterloo, where Napoleon is exiled to Saint Helena. This actually really happened based upon the history books, but what it's trying to say here is that instead of Napoleon dying in the island for where he was exiled from, he actually escaped. And the way that he did that is that he found an imposter who really looks like him, really looks like Napoleon, and his name was Eugene. So what he does is he takes Eugene's identity and he tells him, "Hey, you're going to be here on the island of St. Helena and you're going to be treated like royalty. My men are going to take care of you. You're going to eat, but all you have to do is act like me until you don't. At the time that I'm on my way to France, you're going to be impersonating me, and by the time I get to France and I let people know that it's safe for you to show your true identity as Eugene and me as Napoleon in France, I will have the chance to win back the power of my people, and they will accept me with open arms, and the people of and the government of France will have no choice but to give up their power to me." And of course, that is an insane plan. And to be honest with you, it didn't help the movie. I didn't really care that this was his plan. And really, what this movie tries to do, it's I respect it, but at the same time, I think that they didn't really pull it off. What they tried to do is show Napoleon as a flawed human being with a lot of compassion for people, and still with some hope. But to be honest with you, it didn't really translate well for me because I felt like this movie needed a little bit of a better script, a little bit of a tighter script, and characters with an actual conscience. Because I think that a lot of the things that were happening in this movie, like when people are professing their love for each other or when really deep things are happening, I think they're forced and it really doesn't feel genuine to excuse me, it doesn't feel genuine to me. Um and it kind of takes down the movie a little bit for me. This movie's not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's actually pretty good, and I do recommend it for people if you want to take the time to watch a biographical film, but based on a real person and not necessarily based on a true story. Although this movie does pertain itself to be true, like it'll say, like, yes, this actually happened. Napoleon actually escapes Saint Helena and tried to do all this crazy shit. But really, this is based on a book that came out a couple years beforehand, and it was written by a man named Leys or Simon Lees. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it's a book called The Death of Napoleon. And I haven't read that book, But I have seen this movie, and I just feel like it's not really that. I don't know if this was a good adaptation that much, to be honest with you. Either that or the book isn't as engaging for me, to be honest with you, because it does try to have the character Napoleon reflect on his own life and what he's done, and kind of take him down a peg as this person who isn't as great. This person really missed what it really meant to be a human being. Like, he was a conqueror, and he was a person that ruled a good part of Europe and could have had the potential of ruling the entire world, but at the same time he was just a shallow man who, just didn't really understand about the true treasures of life. It just didn't click for him, and in this movie it does. Like, this director finally, and the author of this story finally gave the opportunity for Napoleon to really see the true fruits of life. And I think that was supposed to be kind of like a feel good comedy type of direction, involving a dictator, but it didn't work. And it's kind of a shame because there's so much going for this, but it just doesn't stick to the landing. Like, it doesn't stick the landing the way I hoped it did. Um, but other than that, it's not a bad movie. It's just kind of mid. That's all it is. But other than that, let me know what you thought of the movie. Just give a comment, like, dislike, subscribe. I'm gonna be directing. Oh, directing. I'm not gonna be directing. I'm gonna be reviewing another movie based on Napoleon. Tonight was The Emperor's New Clothes, but I'm gonna leave it off for another day. I'm gonna eat. I'm tired, but I'm still gonna eat. I'm gonna work out a little bit and just be done for the day. All right. Let me know how you guys are doing this Thanksgiving. All right. Love you guys.